Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to learn how you can say in order to or for. For example, I bought a rose for my girlfriend. In order to say for someone, we actually first need to learn in order to. For example, I have to learn Korean in order to visit Korea. Or I have to learn Korean for visiting Korea. In Korean, both of these sentences can be made using the same verb, 위하다, which means to be for or to be in order to. So this verb 위하다 can be conjugated in two different ways depending on how it's being used. So first, let's learn how to conjugate it in the way that we need in order to make our previous two examples, which would be an adverb. To make it, get a noun and attach the object marker. Then add 위해서. The 서 here is optional. Then follow this form, either immediately or soon after, with an action verb. For example, 남자친구를 위해 한국어를 공부하고 있어요. I am studying Korean for my boyfriend. 여자친구를 위해 장미를 샀어요. I bought a rose for my girlfriend. 제 손님을 위해 차를 멈췄어요. I stopped the car for my guest. There is one more way that this verb 위하다 can conjugate, but first let's look at some examples of it being used as an adverb, here as 위해서. 저는 이 회사를 위해서 열심히 일했어요. I worked hard for this company. 우리 부모님을 위해 대학교를 다니고 있어요. I am attending college for my parents. Note that 다니다 can also be used in the same way to mean to commute to a workplace. 형을 위해 비밀을 지켜줄게요. I will keep the secret for you, older brother. 제 몸무게를 위해 다이어트를 시작했어요. I started a diet for my weight. 저는 여러분을 위해서 노력하고 있어요. I am making an effort for everyone. 마지막 피자 한 조각을 위해 가위바위보를 했어요. We played rock, paper, scissors for the last one piece of pizza. Note that 하다, meaning to do, can also be used to mean to play with any sort of game. But 위하다 can also be used as an adjective and then be used to describe a noun, meaning a noun that is for something. Here's how to do that. Get a noun and attach the object marker. Then add 위한. Finally, follow this form with another noun. 위한 can translate as that is for and directly describes the noun that follows. For example, 빌리 씨를 위한 선물이에요. It is a gift that is for Billy, or it's a gift for Billy. 저는 감기를 위한 약을 샀어요. I bought medicine that is for a cold. 제가 원어민을 위한 수업을 들었어요. I took a class that was for native speakers. But not only nouns, you can also use 위해서 or 위한 together with action verbs. And in order to do that, you first change an action verb into a noun using the nominalization form 기, which we've already learned. When you're using either of these 위하다 forms with this 기 form, do not add the object marker after the 기 form. For example, 한국을 방문하기 위해 제가 한국어를 배워야 돼요. I have to learn Korean in order to visit Korea, or for visiting Korea. 나무에 대해 배우기 위한 책을 샀어요. I bought a book that is for learning about trees. 저는 매일 병원에 다녀오기 위해 차가 필요해요. I need a car in order to go to the hospital and come back here every day. Alright, so we've learned how to use this form with both nouns and action verbs. So let's take a look at a few example sentences. 이 상자를 옮기기 위해 힘이 세야 돼요. You have to be strong in order to move this box. 더 잘하기 위해 우리가 매주 만나야 돼요. In order to do better, we have to meet every week. 저는 낮잠을 자기 위해 시간이 많이 필요해요. I need a lot of time in order to take a nap. 편의점에서 고추장을 만들기 위한 재료를 샀어요. I bought the ingredients that are for making red pepper paste at the convenience store. 체스 동아리를 만들기 위해 사람이 더 필요해요. We need more people in order to make a chess club. 자동차에 기름을 넣기 위해 주유소로 가고 있어요. I'm going to the gas station in order to put gas in the car. 자동차를 고치기 위해 돈을 많이 썼어요. I spent a lot of money, or literally, I used a lot of money, in order to fix the car. So now that we've learned several ways for using this form, let's do a conversation practice between two people, Sora and Subin, and they're talking about visiting a US post office. First, Sora says, 택배를 보내러 우체국에 가야 되는데 혹시 필요한 게 있어? I need to go to the post office to send a package, but by chance, is there something that you need? 아, 우표를 좀 사주세요. 아, please buy me some stamps. 제가 보내야 하는 편지가 있어요. There is a letter that I need to send. 그래. Okay. 우표를 살게. I will buy stamps. 영수증도 달라고 할게. I will ask for them to give me a receipt too. Or I'll also ask for a receipt. 고마워요, 언니. Thank you, older sister. Or here, older friend. 아, 그리고 제 여권에 대해 물어봐줘요. Ah, and please ask about my passport. 3개월 전에 신청을 했지만 아직 안 왔어요. I applied 3 months ago, but it didn't come yet. 정말? Really? 나는 2주일 전에 신청을 했는데 어제 왔어. I applied 2 weeks ago, and it came yesterday. 언니의 여권이 벌써 왔다고요? Did you say that your passport already arrived? Note, both 이미 and 벌써 are adverbs that mean already, but using 벌써 instead adds emphasis that it was sooner than you expected. 아, 저는 여권을 만드는 것이 시작부터 끝까지 이상하게 오래 걸리네요. As for me, making a passport from the beginning to the end strangely takes a long time. So, for me, it strangely is taking a long time to make a passport from the beginning to the end. We learned that 걸리다 means to take time. So here, 오래 걸리다 means to take a lot of time or to take a long time.
택배를 보내러 우체국에 가야 되는데 혹시 필요한 게 있어? 아, 우표를 좀 사주세요. 제가 보내야 하는 편지가 있어요. 그래, 우표를 살게. 영수증도 달라고 할게. 고마워요, 언니. 아, 그리고 제 여권에 대해 물어봐줘요. 3개월 전에 신청을 했지만 아직 안 왔어요. 정말? 나는 2주일 전에 신청을 했는데 어제 왔어. 언니의 여권이 벌써 왔다고요? 아, 저는 여권을 만드는 것이 시작부터 끝까지 이상하게 오래 걸리네요.
So in this lesson, we learned how you can say for as well as in order to. So practice everything in this lesson and I'll see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.